Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EURUSD. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Greetings everybody. Today guys, again finally we could take a look at the euro currency, since the major event that we have were waiting for has happened. So the Federal Reserve has announced its policy and overall view on the situation in the United States economy. So mostly, as you can see by the market reaction, it is treated as the hawkish comments, and indeed, so Federal Reserve now has announced the clearance starting of the clearing of its balance sheet and starting to sell off of the bonds that were accumulated on the balance during the quantitative easing program. The overall clearance pace will not be very fast, so it's approximately 10 billion of the bonds per quarter, but still this is the starting of the process, and it's probably anyway will draw some liquidity from the market. That's why it was the supportive for United States dollar. Also, overall assessment of the perspective of the rate increasing were positive, except maybe the discussion of the possible sale of the rate. So they previously talked about the 3% as the beacon level for rate increasing. Right now they're talking on 2.75, but it mostly has a relation and important for long-term bonds and for long-term rates. So right now is more interesting how fast they will continue to increase the rate. Right now, according to the Fed Fund rate futures, the probability has rise to the 70% that rate will be increased again in December. So all these steps looks bullish for the United States dollar, and they has triggered this collapse that we see on the daily chart of the euro currency. But not only this was the reason for this collapse, because as you remember, previously we also have discussed the other issues that has relation to convenient traders report that's indeed the overall euro positions are overloaded, and political risks that we will meet in weekends. So on Sundays will be elections in Germany. It's also hardly investors will start to accumulate positions before this event. As a result, this drop looks really absolutely normal, natural, and right now we're returning to the potential reversal pattern, guys, that could be formed here. And this pattern is the head and shoulders. So speaking on this pattern, you can see that yes, the market just slightly hasn't reached our destination point. So we thought that maybe it will reach approximately the same around 1260, but just market was lacking time to complete this action before Fed meeting, and this was just it is tried here, even has reached 1230, but in that moment the press conference has started and rate announcement started, and market just collapsed down. But in general, overall behavior corresponds to what we have expected. So right now we're starting to watch on this level, on this pattern, and the most probable first destination that we should get some kind of the ABCD action down, and target approximately 117.75. So as this drops really fast, here's also some acceleration exists. So it means that it's very probable that this target could be reached. I'm not sure this about current week. Maybe this impulse will get the continuation, and maybe even on Friday. Today and on Friday, market will hit this area, but that's the next level that we'll be watching for. The same we could say about the hourly chart. On the hourly chart, our guard is triple to sell pattern has worked, and it has been formed. Yes, market not quite totally complete this ABCD. The CD leg is a bit smaller than AB, but this very often happens when the market forms the guard is triple to. It's not every time absolutely harmonic, especially when the CD leg look much flatter. As you can see, it's very flat action compared to this one, and when you're expecting a major fundamental event, this is very often could happen. So, but in general, our suggestion seems to be correct, and indeed market has dropped. Right now, if you haven't taken the position based on this regardless 222, we could watch for some possible upward retracement here, as market could show from the recent drop. Hardly this retracement should be significant. It's very probable that maybe market will show the bounce to this previous consolidation, as you can see in this area. So 1925 is probably this retracement that could happen in a few hours. So that's why it seems that before the elections and just taking together all the factors that we see right now, the more hawkish Fed statement, coming elections, the overloaded commitment of traders, CFTC positions on the euro currency. All this stuff point on the possible downward continuation in the euro currency in the short-term perspective. So that's why here probably just minor retracement will happen before market continue action down.